All right, Desmond, thank you so much for coming on here. I really do appreciate it. It's my first, I guess, American interview, so it's nice. So the way I usually start my interviews is I always ask people this simple question: what makes you happy?
I think a lot of people base happiness off a everyday thing. They look at money and all that other stuff. For me, what makes me happy is just being able to wake up on another day.
Nice. Fantastic. So if you take it, so you used to play college football, right?
Yep.
You're an American football player.
Yeah.
You got the big gun, you got everything, right?
Something like that. I like to think myself as a normal guy.
Right. You see a normal guy right here. I'm a big guy. He's a normal guy. I don't think so. Man.
Oh, pretty normal. Yeah.
So you played college and you even played in the NFL.
Yep.
And so on. So tell me a little bit about that whole journey. Everything from high school to college and NFL.
From high school, I was told at an early age that if I don't get a scholarship, I'm not going to college. My dad, my mom were both in the Navy. We were medium, in the middle class family. But, growing up, I always had to work. So for me, sports was my outlet, to get away from everything. But high school football, I went to a prominent school, top school in all of Florida. Played under the winningest high school coach. So from there, I learned winning. Winning is what you got to do. And then just a work ethic, and going from high school to college, it's a whole new jump. Guys get bigger, faster, stronger. Then you get to the NFL, and that's just the freak shows. That's top of the notch guys. There's some guys in there that are average guys, and they found their way into the league by luck, and they're there. But then there's the guys that you look at D linemen that are running 4.4s, that are able to chase down defensive backs. That doesn't ever happen.
Right.
But
So then, if we go just a little bit back, you talked about the work ethics in college. What kind of work ethics were you presented by when you got into college?
When I got into college, it was a little bit different. You go off and you're on your own. I know college here is a little bit different than it is in the States. For us, for me, I had a scholarship to multiple different schools to go to. I could have gone to Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, Purdue, like anywhere. But I chose to go out of state, and I went to Wake Forest to start off with. And that was another private school, because I went to private school in high school, and it was hard. It's a big transition. You're going from not having your parents there, you have a whole bunch of free time, supposedly, but then I have football, and then I got school on top of that. So it's a balancing act, but you got to know where you fit in and what you learn time management.
Absolutely. So you talked about working hard from basically ever since you were little. You get used to working hard for everything you probably wanted. That's what I get out of it. What does hard work mean to you? What's hard work?
Hard work to me is how much effort you're willing to put into something. Are you willing to say that you did it just to get by, or are you willing to go that extra step to make sure that it's done right? My dad always told me never to half do things, because if you half do it, you're not going to like the outcome of it, because eventually it's just going to fall apart. So why not, when you're there doing it, do it to your full potential? And even if you fail at it, look at it as something that you can grow from. Oh, well, that you failed, but we'll look at the things that you've accomplished along the way with it. So hard work to me is always how much you're willing to put in and how much you're willing to get out of it.
Absolutely. So now if you do the hard work and you really put all of yourself into it and do 100% all of the time, then in most cases, in some cases, you get what people call success.
Right.
What would your definition of success be?
My definition of success would be how much you grew from that thing. How much did you grow from building a house? How much did you grow from getting an A on a paper? How much did you grow from making it to the NFL? Yeah, all those things are great, but what did you get out of it? How were you able to use that success and push you farther to make other things successful? I don't ever look at, because a lot of people say, well, you weren't successful because you failed at something. Well, I wasn't successful because I didn't make it to the first game of the week in the regular season to play real NFL football. No, I was still the first one out of my college to make it into the NFL. That was success. Okay, I didn't make it all that way, but still there was other things that happened along the way that I was able to accomplish. For me, it was always football. I didn't set myself up for other things afterwards. I looked at when I got cut as a failure. But then along the way, I had meetings with coaches and rookie meetings that taught you how to use what you just accomplished to get more places in life. And from there, I learned that, well, hey, I just made it to the NFL. Now I can use that brand, that logo, and get myself other places. So what in that way is not successful?
And in the very start, hard work got you into the NFL, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. Now, I think you briefly talked about before how somewhat comparing yourself to others. Do you think when you're in a position of life that you should, if we look at success by itself, should you compare yourself to others, or should you just focus on yourself?
I think you have to know the line to walk. If you start comparing yourself to others too much, you get lost in it. You start falling back on what you're so accustomed to do. I would also always look at, well, this safety did that and this safety did that, which is the position I played when I was in the NFL. Well, I got caught up on trying to be like who they were and lost who I was. So if you look at them too much, then you lose yourself. So you have to know that fine line. Like, yeah, what they use to work for them, work for them. That some of those things might work for you, but a lot of them won't. So take those things that will work for you and then keep being yourself.
So in some way you can almost present it as you can be inspired by others, but don't try to copy them.
No, not ever. Because not one thing that they do will always work for you.
Exactly. Now, so that's success in itself. And then we have other people. What do you think successful individuals have in common? Now, and remember, regardless of, what the definition of success is, but just people that have the ability to go a place and say, this is where I am and this is where I'm going. What do you think those kind of people have in common?
Drive, passion, want to, the will how. It's this mindset that these people that always wanted to be successful have this motivation to keep going. They know that there will be setbacks that'll set you back, but learn how to overcome from those and keep pushing forward. A lot of people will get those setbacks and just kind of fall back into their shell and let it just defeat them. I know people that are successful are continuously motivated to keep going, keep reaching for that top.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because that's just how they were. It's just something that's in you. There's that killer instinct, that dog in you. Like when I go out there and play football, it's like when I put on the helmet, it's something that tells me that whoever lines up across from me, they might have the saying that they're better than me, but I don't believe it. I don't think so. And if you are, you got to prove it to me. You got to outwork me on every play. So for me, those type of people just have the will how to know that, well, yeah, that person might be right now at this point, this second, in a better position than me, but I'm going to get there and I'm going to surpass them. And I'm going to keep going when I get past them.
So success is really a mindset in the very end.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now if you look at being successful, in most cases in this world, being successful often is followed by somewhat amount of money. In at least the more Western world and so on.
Yeah.
Has money ever been your motivation? Or is it your motivation?
Right now, no. I think as I've gotten older and grown a little bit in life, money has not so much become less important, but become less of a drive. Because I've seen so much how people just drive for something to get to money and get there and get that money and then forget everything they worked for to get there. So to me, money doesn't really change who you are or make you who you are. Because you could go out there and maybe there might be a homeless person. You don't know how much money is in their bank account. You might find, like The Rock, $7 in his bank account. Look where he is now. But he's continuing to be who he is. He doesn't change who he is because now he has millions in his bank account. That money to me is just a thing that you need it to be revolve in this life. You need it to buy food and do these things, but why should it drive you? Why should I think just because maybe I only have $60, well, hey, I woke up today, I was able to go to the gym, I'm able to still play football, I can still call my mom, my loved ones are still doing what they like to do, so where's money, how did money change that?
Exactly. If we look at role models, idols, normally when you have to do something, you often get inspired by someone. Who was your role model growing up, or idol, or who did you look up to?
Majority of the time I looked up to my dad. My dad always, throughout my whole life, had two jobs. He started off in the military. Then when he got out of the military, he worked at Home Depot. Then he had a lawn care business. Then he left Home Depot, went to Lowe's, still had a lawn care business. through all the way until when he passed away at 63, he had a lawn care business and another thing going on. And that's because he wanted to keep a roof over our head. And to me, I never understood it, because when I was younger, he wouldn't be at my Pop Warner games because he would have to mow lawns on Saturday and Sunday. And to me, that was heartbreaking, because you always want to be there, your dad to be there, because you want to see him do everything. But my mom was able to be there. But my dad didn't start showing up until high school, because then he realized how much I was growing so fast and wanted to see me play. But to me, that, like, now looking back on it, I'm like, wow, like, he set a lot aside for us to be able to live a happy lifestyle and not have to worry about bills or the lights cutting off or anything like that, and he would give up his life just for us, but my other role model would be The Rock. I look up to a lot of things that he says. He's one of those guys that can motivate a lot of people.
Absolutely. And even, do you know how old he is?
No, I don't.
I think he's around his 50s, maybe.
Yeah.
And his work ethics, when it comes to working out, some people would say that being a Hollywood actor, actually, I think he was the highest paid actor at some point. And then working out as much is just amazing. I saw an interview with him, and he mentioned that, all right, if I got to be on set by 6, I get up at 3, and then I do 2 hours of working out, and then I'm all there. All I got to control is how much I sleep.
Right, and I saw something that he posted on Facebook the other day where saying that not making it to the NFL was the best thing that ever happened to him.
That was in Vancouver or something, Canada, right?
Yep. Because he was in the CFL, got cut after 2 games, had $7 in his bank account, and was like, well, shoot, where do I go now? Turned over his life and kept going. He realized that wasn't everything for him, that there was more out there to do.
Exactly.
So that drive is just something that...
So if we look at a situation just like The Rock, what do you do when you have a challenge in your life, no matter what it might be, if it's sports, career, personal life, or whatever? How do you approach challenges in your life?
I attack them. Yeah. If a challenge is there, you got to go at full force. If you kind of teeter around it, run around it, you don't really ever accept that challenge. A challenge is there for you for a reason. It's not placed in front of you because you can't do it. You can do it by any means. Maybe if you have to call outside work or call other people for help, you're going to find a way to make it through that challenge. You just got to have that mindset that you can push through it. Don't let that challenge overcome you. Challenges aren't as tough as people think they are. It's a good thing to grow from. There's reasons challenges are in everybody's life.
What do you think then you say challenges aren't as tough as people think. What do you think stops people in attacking the challenges, facing them on?
Looking at the bigger picture instead of facing the smaller picture. They look at this large challenge and think, oh shoot, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. Take your small steps. There's always a step to get there. Don't worry, you'll get to that challenge. And once you face that challenge, I've done all this other stuff. I can face this now. It's easy then.
Absolutely.
That's the hard part that people get through. They look at too much big picture. And that's great. Yeah, there's a lot of big picture in the world. The world's a big place. It's a huge picture. But there's so many small things that are going on that you have to get through first to get there.
We talked about it briefly before with your father growing up, always working. I believe that your childhood affects you in such a way to the person you are today. The same with all of us. What would you say? How has your childhood affected you to the person you are today?
I think my childhood affected me to learn how to just continue to work. From the early age of 8, learn how to drive a tractor, learn how to mow lawns. If I wasn't playing football on the weekends, you were out working with your dad. And that's 8 years old all the way up until I was 18. That's an even better reason why I left the state to go to North Carolina, because I didn't want to mow lawns anymore. I hate mowing lawns now. But to me, that just installed in me that you got to continue to wake up and go. The second the sun is up, to me, that's a time that you should be going. Why aren't you going? There's no other reason. When the sun goes down, doesn't mean that other people stop working either. You have time to rest and get that rest time. But once you wake up and those feet touch the ground, get going. What are you wasting your time for? Get your day started, get it going in a positive way, and have those positive outlooks on everything. Because if you wake up in a negative tone, it's going to affect your whole day. And why would you want that to affect your whole day? Find one thing that motivates you and get that through the whole day.
How does a day look for you right now? How does it look for you?
Right now, usually I wake up about 5 a.m. I'll get something to eat, kind of sit around, figure out where I want to go with my day, have my schedule. Doesn't always go perfect, but then about 7 to about 8 a.m., I'm going to go to the gym. I'm in the gym from anywhere from 8 to about 11. Go back home, get on the computer, start working on things that I want to get done with my own company and that sort of stuff. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have practice around 7 p.m., but I also coach the U16 team, so they're out there at 5 p.m. So I'm out there with them, and then usually a couple hours before that, I have a speed and agility that I do with some of the guys just because I want to see them get better at the sport too. Then I'll go home after that, eat dinner, and then kind of see what I accomplished that day, and whatever I didn't get done that day, I'll usually put for the next day and go from there.
So you keep going.
Yeah.
Don't ever stop.
No.
No.
There's no point.
Absolutely. So, Desmond, what would you say to people that's about to give up? If we take the example of football, for instance, we have this, for example, a young player who wants to start playing football. Mm-hmm. Then he comes out to the field for the first time and he realizes, holy shit, this shit, it hurts. It really hurts a lot. And he goes home with bruises and everything. And it hurts, but he still wants to play. So he goes one more time and it hurts again and he considers quitting. That moment right there, what would you say to people?
I would say, well, look at all the people that not only are you out here for yourself, but think about your teammates that you're letting down. Mm-hmm. Football is such a game that's not built on one person. It's such a team aspect. So if you come out there one day and I put you at receiver, and now you're our starting receiver, and then you decide 2 days later you want to quit, now I have to find the next person to replace. Mm-hmm. But hey, you were just the star receiver, and the quarterback's looking to throw to you. The offensive line is blocking for you. The defense is expecting you to score. You don't show up, who are you letting down? Not only yourself, but the team. Because if you quit then just because things get a little too hard, think about how many things in the rest of your life you're just going to give up on.
Exactly. If
school breaks get too hard, what are you going to say? Oh, well, I don't feel like doing my homework, so I'm not going to do it. You fail. You show up to your job one day and your boss is really mad at you and things get too hard. Oh, well, I quit. No money to pay your bills. You can't keep running from things. They're still going to come. Like I said, with challenges, they're there every day. So why let one little thing stop you? Find a way to overcome that. With pain, there's always going to be pain in everything. Whether you're going through pain in football, whether you're going through pain from a relationship, losing a family member, anything. But to find a way to overcome that. Because there's other people depending on you. Like when I lost my dad, I for sure was in the tank. But then I realized that I have my mom depending on me, I have my sister depending on me, a brother, two and another sister. And then with that comes along, I have nieces and nephews, all looking at me at how am I going to react from this? If I throw it in the tank, then who am I letting down? Not only myself, but a whole family that's looking at me. So why ever give up? There's other people that depend on you throughout this whole world. And if you can't do it for those other people, then look at yourself too. Why would you want to give up on yourself? You get one chance at this. One chance at life. But don't look at tomorrow or yesterday. Look at now. You're living now. You're in this day, in this present right now. Why not enjoy it? Go past it. Okay, I just got a little bruise. I got a little pain. Whatever. Eventually it goes away.
That's it. Thank you, Desmond. That's perfect.
No problem.
Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you.